Greetings. They didn't see you coming, did they? No warning, no permission slip, no invitation to the table they swore you'd never touch. Just silence. And then you built your own. Now look at them. Trembling, confused, whispering your name like it's a forbidden word. Because you didn't play the game. You rewrote it. You didn't knock on their door. You built an empire on the ashes of their rejection. And that, my friend, that's what terrifies them. They can't process it. How someone they ignored, underestimated, laughed off as nothing, somehow became the storm that rearranged their sky. They keep asking, "Who gave you permission?" And you smile, because that's the joke. You never needed one. See, people worship systems because it gives them a sense of order. They cling to hierarchies, crowns, labels, all those glittering illusions that make them feel safe. But you walked straight through that theater of masks and realized something no one wants to admit. The table only has power because people beg to sit at it. So you stopped begging, you stopped asking, you started building. And when you did, the entire dynamic flipped. Because now, the same ones who looked down on you are craning their necks to look up. The same ones who called you reckless now call you Sir. The same ones who mocked your silence now study your every move like scripture. You see, you broke the social algorithm. You learned that obedience is just fear with makeup on. You learned that validation is a leash disguised as love. And when you cut that leash, when you stood up from the floor and made your own damn throne, the air shifted, the room changed, the hierarchy cracked. That's when they started shaking, because you didn't just take power, you redefined it. Power isn't about sitting at their table anymore. It's about making them realize the wood, the nails, the feast were all yours to begin with. And now, they hover around your table desperate for crumbs, terrified of your calm. Because you don't shout like they do. You don't need to. Your silence is louder than their applause. Your presence makes their confidence malfunction. They call you arrogant, cold, heartless. But that's just what mediocrity calls evolution. Let's tell the truth. They never feared your weakness. They feared your awakening. They feared the day you'd stop explaining yourself to fools who profit from your doubt. They feared the moment you'd realize your worth wasn't in their invitation. It was in your refusal. That's when you became dangerous. Not when you got rich, not when you got loud, when you got independent, when your spirit stopped kneeling for recognition, when your energy no longer begged, it commanded. And now, look around. Everywhere you go, the air bends first. People feel it before they understand it. That strange mix of calm and chaos you carry. It's addictive. They can't tell if you'll build them up or break them down. And that mystery. That's your crown. You've become a paradox they can't solve. Too kind to be cruel. Too cruel to be kind. Too calm to be normal, too dangerous to be ignored. They used to joke about your crazy. Now they call it charisma. They used to say you'd never make it. Now they copy your mannerisms just to feel relevant. But what really kills them is how little you care. You don't chase anymore. You attract. You don't prove anymore. You exist. And that existence alone, that unbothered, untouchable stillness, that's power. Real power. Because real power doesn't scream. It sits back, lights a cigarette, and watches those who once laughed start performing for your approval. They said you were too different, too much, too quiet, too bold. They tried to shrink you into something digestible. But you were never meant to be swallowed. You were built to choke them on their own underestimation. And now that they see it, they're having panic attacks in your silence. They're losing sleep trying to decode your composure. They want to know your secret, how you turned every heartbreak into strategy, how you turned humiliation into hardware, how you turned pain into blueprint. You want to know the truth? You stopped surviving for sympathy. You started thriving off the fire. Every time they tried to bury you, you grew roots in the dark. You stopped being a name in their story and became the headline in their nightmares. Now they circle your table like ghosts, desperate for a seat, terrified of your gaze. But you don't even look up because your attention has become currency and they can't afford it. See, they thought leadership was about being followed. But real dominance? It's when even your enemies start imitating your silence, when even the powerful start whispering your quotes, when even the gods start taking notes. And that's where you stand now, the architect of your own myth, unbothered, unreachable, unapologetic. You don't need validation anymore. You are the validation. You don't fit into the system anymore. You built the foundation it stands on. So when they say, "Who does he think he is?" you tell them, "I'm the one who stopped asking for permission to exist." Let them shake. Let them talk. Let them circle your table and stare at the throne they said you'd never touch. Because deep down, they all know one thing. You didn't just build the table. You became the table, the feast, the fire, the silence that swallows kings whole. And when the dust settles, when the noise dies, your name won't just be remembered, it'll be studied. Because legends aren't born from applause, they're forged in rejection and crowned in revenge disguised as peace. So sit back, light that cigarette. Watch them squirm in their own hierarchy. Because now they understand the truth. You never wanted their seat. You were always meant to own the room. You didn't crawl to their tables, did you? No. You built your own, brick by brick, with blood for mortar and silence as your soundtrack. You didn't ask for permission. You announced your arrival by existing. And that's what terrifies them, because they spent their whole lives worshiping the system, while you learned how to break it and wear its ashes like war paint. See, when you stop begging for crumbs and start forging your own crown, the game shifts. You become unpredictable, and that makes you dangerous. They can't categorize you. They can't control you. And control is the only language they ever learned. They call you arrogant. Because you don't kneel, they call you cold. Because you don't chase validation, they call you crazy. Because you found peace in your own storm. But deep down, they know you're what they secretly wish they had the spine to become. Let them whisper, let them plot, let them pray for your downfall. You've already turned every failure into fuel, every scar into scripture. You are the sermon now. Because here's the truth they choke on. You weren't invited to the feast. You became the feast. You weren't handed power. You manufactured it. You didn't wait for your turn. You made time bow to your will. Every time they said you'd fall, you stood taller. Every time they tried to exile you, you built an empire on the outskirts. Every eye that rolled at you now watches in silence. Every voice that mocked you now imitates your tone. And now they tremble. Not because you're cruel, not because you're perfect, but because you're free. Unowned, unbent, untamed. That's the part they can't process. How someone who played the game with no cheat codes, no shortcuts, no favors, still ended up the one holding the fucking dice. You built the table. Now everyone eats after you. Every move you make rewrites the script they swore by. You are the glitch in their matrix, the ghost in their algorithm, the proof that discipline beats privilege when the hunger's real enough. They used to laugh at you. Now they study you. They used to dismiss you. Now they mimic your rhythm, your confidence, your stillness. Because when power walks in without noise, it makes the whole room hold its breath. So when they whisper, "Who does he think he is?" you look them dead in the eyes and say, "I'm the storm you ignored while you were busy counting raindrops." Now sit back, watch them scramble for the blueprints of the table you built. And remember, they only fear you because they finally realized you never needed their seat. You became the fucking room, and the room now answers to you.